Hello and welcome to Gunnar Weiskamp's Web Development. Today we're going to be doing lesson 9, doing the C# list object. This lesson looks at the list object and talks about how it can also be used with classes, class types, and we start to introduce link. The list object, as you will see just in the brief intro in this lesson, is quite powerful, and we'll build upon that in the other lessons. So to build today's application, I'm using Microsoft Visual Studio 2013, so you can just open it up and do new project, then make sure this guy here is selected. My framework is 4.5 and we're just building a console application. Alrighty, let's go to Visual Studio. Let's open them up. So we've just got a console app, as we can see there. Let's put in some code. Now, our first impression here is going to be quite straightforward. So the list object resides in this system collection generic. As you can see, I took him out. He's not in there either now. So he resides in the systems collection generic. Namespace. I just wasn't too sure of the link. Nah, doesn't make a difference, right? So yes, list object. This guy here resides in this namespace here, the systems collections generic. So how does it work, and what does it do? It's quite simple on how it works. All you do is you tie in the type of value that you're going to be using in your object. Here we're going to be creating a list string object, and then you just new it up just like a normal class type. You make sure it's a string here again, and then obviously you create the variable. Here in our first demo, very simple stuff, we're going to add a string, or a letter in this case, to our object, and then we're just going to print out our list object here. There's so many features with the list object. Where do you start? It's a template, and you can use many different values within there. We wanted to create a integer list. All you got to do is pass it as an int, and then all we'd have to do is do this. Why don't we do this one down here? Sort of expand on our initial assessments. Do this, and it's not liking that because it's a number. It should be fine. Let's put 2 in there. Int I, and then I dot string. So here's the other example, but we're creating an integer object, and so forth and so forth. So the list object has greatly overtaken or replaced the uses of arrays because of its simplicity to use, its flexibility, and its markup to use. Later on I'll show you how to use one with a class. But wait, there's more. It does link into the link language as well, which we will talk about as well. So this guy here is extremely powerful and has largely replaced. You use this rather than arrays these days. Let's talk more action. Let's see what comes out. We should see A, B, and 1, 2. There we go, A, B, 1, 2 printed to the screen. So that's a brief sort of look at this, the list object here. Let's grab our next example. So here we go. We're going to demonstrate the list object using classes here. So we've created a class here with just call it fish. and it's going to have one property. It's going to be the fish name. And so we go into our main here, and as you can see, we're using the list object here, but in this case we're using it with a class instead of a string like we did before, or an integer as we did before. And here we're demonstrating how you can add add or initiate information into a class list object, and all you got to do is add the parameters there and then place in your items there. Another way of doing it is just like the last one. You can use the add as well, or can you? Okay, and so you can add another fish in that sense. Let's call it Big Fish. Really inventive names. And let's repeat this loop here. Okay, so that should work fine. So going back here first in our first loop, we'll see shark, groper and manta ray come out here. Then we're going to add another fish, the big fish, using this sort of syntax to our list, and we'll see this array come around again, but it will have 4 fish in it at that stage. Here we go. There we go. So our first list was just with the manta ray, the shark, and then we've obviously added another one, just repeated that list, and we can see our big fish come around there. So that was just showing another way to add another item to your object instead of this process here. So as you're starting to see, the list object is extremely flexible. Once you get your head around the syntax, it far surpasses using arrays. Okay, so for our last example is another facet of the list object, just another property of the list object. That's why the more you see, the more you'll understand the power of this guy. So here we've got the list object. We're just going to do a string this time, just like last time. And in this case, we're adding to it, like we sort of did before. We're doing D, B, C, A, obviously out of sync there. So wouldn't it be good if we could rearrange them and order them into alphabetical order? So it was A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. That'd be pretty cool. We can. Ta-da! So here's our list object, and we've got this order by link process. And what this does, it'll order it by, in this case, alphabetically, so the A will come first, and it's put into this object here, which we're going to print out down here. So in our next piece, we're using, so that's the ordered by functionality of the list item. Next is the find functionality of the list object, and what that does, it finds a certain element within, or the requested element within all of these objects here. It's looking for A. Let's see if the code finds A, and it should, and we'll print that to the screen. So all these magical functionalities, as you can see, order by, there's loads. There's max, min, and this is bringing into the world of the link command, which I was just briefly going to introduce here, which I will be looking at in a further tutorial later on. But all this comes with the list object, which just makes it incredible. The enumerable you might see here, are used commonly also with the list object because they're heavily related. So let's see what we print out here. So what do we got here? What string did we find? And we did find A, which we passed into here when we know that's in our object there. So that worked fine. And we can see now here in our ordered object, which is printed out here, it's A, B, C, D. So this order by did its magic, stuck everything in there and then printed out. So the more you learn about list objects and the more you're going to learn about LINQ, which I'm hoping to bring you soon, together they can make your life so much easier. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you could, or visit my website there as well, and hope to see you guys soon. Bye.